what is unique about the dating scene in Dubai? Let's say that there's someone listening who's never been, all that they know about Dubai is what they've seen on a couple of TikTok videos. What's
Yeah.
interesting or different about the dating scene
I
out there?
would say Dubai is not very representative of the Middle East. It's got a completely different culture to like Muslim values and culture in general. The reason being is it is a playground for the rich and beautiful. The entire city is Beverly Hills. So what happens is the richest men in the world flock to Dubai. It's got amazing perks if you want to make a lot of money. It's where it is. And any city where there's rich men, there are beautiful women. It's just always the case. Wherever there's rich men, there's beautiful women. So the playground is completely different. It really separates the men from the boys, both for men and women. So what happens is the woman has to really feel like everybody's her competition. So if she hasn't worked on anything besides her looks, she's going to find it's a difficult place to meet people, because if you think you're the prettiest girl in the room, there'll be another pretty girl. There'll be another pretty girl there. So it's hard for her to stand out. And for the rich guy, if he leads with money, he will learn that's not enough for the women out here, because she knows 100 millionaires. So what happens is both these people who brought their their trophies to come to Dubai, the beautiful girl and the rich man, realize that here it's a dime a dozen. So you have to bring something else to the table. But the problem is the culture and the environment is so distracting. It's difficult for partnerships to connect and last a really long time, even though everybody's craving it. Most people here are expats. They haven't got their mom and dad and cousins and family. So they're craving a sense of home, but because it feels like it's so far-fetched, like the ego defenses come in and they just think, well, I might as well just play in the mud while I'm here. So it's slightly different to the rest of the Middle East, I would say.
Do more options mean more happiness?
It's the exact opposite. More options means less happiness. They've done so many studies where they looked at people's reactions to food in a food court compared to a home cooked meal, or even paintings when they had lots of choices or just given one. There's always higher satisfaction when there's no alternatives, because your brain then doesn't imagine alternatives. But our brain has this ability where it can literally experience what we imagine. If I say to you, imagine ketchup on ice cream, you can almost taste that. If you think about it enough, you can taste it. When you have alternatives, imagining the alternative is enough for you to start a desire there. And when you don't have alternatives, you kind of stay focused. But when you do have alternatives, it means the satisfaction is reversed.
So in a place like Dubai that is swimming with lots of people with lots of money and lots of women filled with lots of silicon, there are a lot of distractions.
Endless distractions. And even if it's not the women, it's the environment. Restaurants are fantastic. The bars and clubs and stuff to do. The beaches are amazing. The water will dance for you. You sit and have dinner and the water fountains will go off. There is just such so much pleasure everywhere. I mean, it really suits me well because I am quite extrovert, and I would never say in a bad way. For me, it works well. But for anybody who craves more of a calm, peaceful environment, I don't know how conducive a city like this would be.
I think that you're right. I wonder about what the Muslim community thinks of the recent trend of white Western guys saying that they're going to convert, that they're now going to follow. Has this been a conversation that you've had with your dad or anybody from your...
Yeah, do you know what? It's becoming common. I do think Andrew has a part to play in that. I think Andrew has had a part to play in it. And I think in general, it's... I think what's happened is the left has become so loud that people are seeking conservatism again. And I think that because Dubai has become popular and the idea of the whole gender debate and women becoming so promiscuous, now people are thinking, I need a solution. I need a fix.
Well,
and
if
so
you're looking for not promiscuous women, Dubai is not necessarily the place to go. And
oh
if you're looking
goodness.
for a real representation of Islam, Dubai is also not the place to go.
The last place to go, I would say. If you're looking for a non-promiscuous woman, there is nowhere worse than Dubai, because the promiscuity in Dubai amongst men and women, but like I always say, it's the only city in the world where the women are far more promiscuous than the men. far more, because what's happened to the women in, I don't want to say too much, but what's happened to the women that come to rich cities is they come emotionally detached. They come with the idea that I want to meet a rich man. Now that woman is completely different to the woman that comes to a city and says, I want to fall in love and have kids. Now that emotionally detached woman who comes, I want a good life, is never emotionally invested. And here's the mistake a lot of rich men make. They seem to think that if they can support a girl and give her a good life, loyalty is a given. But what they're forgetting is a woman that craves a good life doesn't seek emotional intimacy. She seeks financial intimacy. Now, any woman who doesn't seek emotional intimacy is far more likely to stray. So they're the most likely to be cheated on is these men that spoil their women. Because loyal women want to be spoiled by time. They don't want to be spoiled by possessions. And a lot of these successful men don't have time. So they naturally filter out loyal women and get the ones that are okay with a financial investment.
That's, again, another difficult sort of hypocrisy or tough circle to square from men's advice around the, looking for emotional intimacy is simping for women, but paying them in gifts and flying them all over the world is somehow being high value. The problem with that is that you are making an incredibly fragile foundation upon which to build that relationship. Now, the cope from that, going one order down, is, well, it doesn't matter. I'm not bothered about building a relationship because use them and you discard them, we'll just get on to the next one. And you go, okay, well, in that case, we're not really talking about the same thing. One person is having a discussion about how to sleep with lots of women and use their air miles as much as they can. And another person is looking for a relationship. And I think that one of the concerns is much of the advice that gets put out on the internet is given by men that are optimizing for short-term relationships, but taken by men who actually want to be optimizing for long-term relationships.
Yeah.
If you're super high in sex drive, super high in sociosexuality, super low in agreeableness, super low in commitment, very commitment averse, very avoidant attachment, you are going to construct a world in which your philosophy meets those desires for yourself.
Yeah.
But if that's the most popular creed that's put out on the internet, and all of these guys who don't have that same baseline of personality do begin to think, well, maybe this is what I should be doing. Maybe this is what should fulfill me. You end up using a philosophy that was designed for a different machine than the one that you are.
Yeah, exactly that. And here's the thing, here's what being a simp is, right? Let me just summarize what it is. It's not about loving and investing in your partner, which is often the case. They seem to think that anybody who loves or invests or wants a long-lasting or who is loyal is a simp. Here's what being a simp is. A woman crosses your boundaries and you still accept, and not only accept, you try and get her back. That's what simping is. Everybody's got different boundaries. But if you've seen a woman cross your boundaries many times, you've seen unacceptable behavior, and instead of them withdrawing your love, you then shower her with more love to get her back. That I can understand is a simp. But somebody who vets a woman correctly and then explains their boundaries. And here's what a boundary is. It's very simple. The moment you feel something is not great, you communicate it. You don't test your partner to see if they break it again and so on. You just say, look, I don't like it when you don't call me after a night out. I just want to make sure you got home okay. Or I don't like it. I think that outfit's a little bit too revealing on a night out. Can you just be a little bit more mindful? You say your boundaries. Now, if you don't say your boundaries and you allow a woman to completely disrespect them, even though you're feeling it, you know in your soul she's disrespecting your boundaries, but you're still begging her to be with you and she's doing unacceptable behavior and you're still begging her, then you fall into the category of a simp. But that can happen with women, men, anyone can do that. But strong boundaries create good neighbors. The moment we put our boundaries up, people then know how to behave around us and we become simp free. We become immune to being a simp.
What's happening, people? If you enjoyed that, then press here for the full unedited episode. And don't forget to subscribe. Peace.